Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Mr. Ahsan Siraj,
Walaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yes.
um, maybe, maybe you can start the lecturing session.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Have you allowed me to share my screen?
Yes, I'm already allow it.
Okay. 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 Can you see my screen? Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can see it right now.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Uh, Today's course again is digital business, and the chapter we are going to study is managing digital business infrastructure. First of all, we have to understand what will we learn at the end of today's session after today's class. So what are the learning outcomes of today's chapter are the outline the hardware and software technologies used to build an e-business infrastructure within an organization and with its partners. And second one, outline the hardware and software requirements necessary to enable employee access to the internet and hosting of e-commerce services. Now let's start again. As we started in the last session of digital business, what are the management issues? Number one, what are the practical risks to the organization of failure to manage e-commerce infrastructure adequately? There are certain type of risks and opportunities for every organization, whether it is doing some business in conventional market or the digital market. So there are some challenges, there are some risks for the organizations regarding their failure to manage e-commerce infrastructure adequately. So we have to look into the risk here. And number two, how should staff access to the internet be managed? Obviously the employees, the staff of the company need to access the internet, or the options for that organization, and how can we manage it. And number three is the how should we evaluate the relevance of web services and open source software. So these are the management issues that we need to address. Okay, first of all, what is an e-business infrastructure? How does it works, what does it actually means, and what is the philosophy behind the e-business infrastructure? First of all, what is e-business infrastructure? E-business infrastructure refers to the combination of hardware such as servers and client PCs in an organization, the network used to link this hardware and the software applications used to deliver services to workers within the e-business and also to its partners and customers. So basically it is a networking infrastructure that connects the business sides, the partners and the customers to perform certain type of e-business activities. Secondly, infrastructure also includes the architecture of the network, hardware, and software, and where it is located. Finally, infrastructure can also be considered to include the methods for publishing data and documents assessed through e-business applications. And last, a key decision with managing this infrastructure is which elements are located within the company and which are managed externally as third-party managed applications, data servers, and networks. So when we are talking about the e-business activities, there are certain type of activities that are not only managed by the company itself, but they also need to collaborate with certain partners, with outsourced parties or with third parties who manage applications, data servers, and networks on behalf of that organization, so that they can better perform their e-business activities and they can better reach to their customers regarding their services, their products, and all the messages they want to convey to their customers and the consumers. Why the jargon? Here is the question, why the jargon? Why do business managers need to know about the jargon and technology? This is what the question that is very important to ask, that why do business managers need to know about the jargon and the technology? Okay, activity 3.1 is infrastructure risk assessment. What does it mean, and what aspects does it include? It's a make a list of the potential problems for customers of an online retailer. There can be certain problems that the customers are feeling that need to be addressed by the online retailer. So the potential problems for the customers, we need to make the list of those problems that can possibly faced by the customer. Either it can be regarding their security concern, or either it can be the accessibility of the products and the search and something like that. Secondly, you should consider problems faced by users of e-business applications who are both internal and external to the organization. This is very important. Obviously, you need to consider those problems who are not affecting the internal but also the external uh, to the organizations. Base your answers on problems you have experienced on a website that can be related to network, hardware, and software failures or problems with data quality. Now, here is the list of some typical problems. What are the typical problems? Website communications too slow. It can be due to some uh, heavy themes, pictures, or overloaded content on the website, or it can be due to the internet, or any other problem at the back end. Website not available, bugs on site through pages being unavailable, or information typed in forms not being executed, ordered products not delivered on time, emails not replied to, customers' privacy or trust is broken through security problems such as credit cards being stolen or addresses sold to other companies. So these are very major and these are very crucial problems while we consider going for an e-business. Okay, next is, it will be apparent that although most of these problems are technical, they arise because humans have not managed the infrastructure adequately. Obviously, there can be some human errors regarding the management of the infrastructure, so that these type of problems that are quite technically arises. They have not invested enough to solve these issues, or have not tested solutions adequately to check for deficiency. Some people go for some cheap options and they don't consider that their customers concerns are of much importance. In that case, the customers, after experiencing those websites and after not being feeling safe, or something, they feel not secured with those applications or with those websites, so they stop working on those uh, websites. So for the companies, it is a loss because they don't work on their efficiencies in terms of in terms of cutting their budgets and other negligence. They cannot overcome their deficiencies. Additionally, in the case of some problems such as emails not being responded to, this may be entirely a problem in the process created or not created by managers to deal with inbound emails. Okay, now here is what is figure 3.1 describes a 5-layer model of e-business infrastructure. What is a 5-layer model of e-business infrastructure? I'm sorry. Number 1, e-business services applications layer. Second one, systems software layer. Number 3, transport or network layer. Number 4, strong physical layer. Number 5, content and data layer. Now we see each one with example, like e-business service and applications layers. Here come customer relationship management, supply chain management, data mining, content management systems. In system Software layer, what it comes, web browser and service softwares and standards, networking software and database management systems. And in transport, a network layer, physical network and transport standards, TCP, IP. And in storage, physical layer, permanent magnetic storage on web servers, or optical backup or temporary storage in memory, that is a RAM. Content and data layer, web content for internet, extranet and internet sites, customers data, transaction data, clickstream data. Now, e-business infrastructure components. What are the different components of e-business infrastructure? Figure 3.1 that we already saw summarizes how the different components of e-business architecture which need to be managed relate to each other. Number two, the different components can be conceived of as different layers with defined interfaces between each layer. The different layers can best be understood in relation to a typical task performed by a user of an e-business system. Now, what is the example? For example, an employee who needs to book a holiday will access a specific human resource application or program that has been created to enable the holiday to be booked. Level 1 in figure 3.1, where we see that customer relationship management. So this is customer relationship management. This application will enable a holiday request to be entered and will forward the application to their manager and human resources department for approval. Number 3, to access the application, the employee will use a web browser such as Microsoft Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, or Google Chrome, using an operating system such as Microsoft Windows XP or Apple operating system X. Level 2 in figure 3.1, where is the software interaction layer. Okay. Number 3 is this system software will then request transfer of the information about the holiday request across a network or transport layer. Level 3 in figure 3.1, the information will then be stored in computer memory, RAM, or in long-term magnetic storage on a web server. Level 4 in figure 3.1. The information itself, which makes up the web pages or content viewed by the employee, and the data about the holiday request are shown as a separate layer. Level 5 in figure 3.1, although it could be argued that this is the first or second level in an e-business architecture. Okay, now if we go back, we have read all the steps. Now again, coming here, first step is e-business services or the application layer. It is customer relationship management in terms of booking a holiday. Then comes to the software system software layer, when web browser and server software is used, like example of it. And then the transport or network layer, then physical network and transport standard, then storage and physical, where it calls about it quote about the RAM storage in memory. And finally, number 5 is content and data layer, web content or intranet, extranet and internet sites, where the customer data and transaction data and click stream data is stored. Okay. Compass in 2000 describes an alternative 5-level infrastructure model of what he refers to as the information system function chain. So this is another person named Compass, who in 2000 describes an alternative model. What is an alternative model? It is 5-level infrastructure model. So what are different 5 levels? Let's see. Storage / physical, memory and disk hardware components, equivalent to level 4 in figure 3.1. Processing, computation and logic provided by the processor. Processing occurs at level 1 and 2 in figure 3.1. Number 3, infrastructure. This refers to the human and external interfaces, and also the network referred to as extra structure. This is level 3 in figure 3.1, although the human or external and interfaces are not shown there. Then number 4 is application and content. This is the data processed by the application into information. This is level 5 in figure 3.1. Finally, number 5 is intelligence. Additionally, computer-based logic that transforms information to knowledge. This is also part of the application layer 1 in figure 3.1. Each of these elements of infrastructure presents separate management issues which we will consider separately. In this chapter, infrastructure management issues are introduced, while more detailed discussion of management solution is presented in chapter 10, 11, and 12. So later on, it's the more detailed versions of these concepts are in those chapters. We start our coverage of e-business infrastructure by considering the technical infrastructure for internet, extranets, intranets, and the World Wide Web, WWW, which are level 2 and 3 in figure 3.1. Okay, now here are the key management issues of e-business infrastructures. What are the key management issues of e-business infrastructure? Number 1 main issue, which type of e-business applications do we develop? Now, what is the details about it? For example, supply chain management, e-procurement, secure online ordering, customer relationship management, were covered. So here are different questions or the main issues, and there are the examples of it. And in the third section where covered, it is tell that in which chapter of the book it is explained which technologies do we use, how do we achieve quality of service in application, where do we host application, something like that. For example, email, web-based ordering, requirements are business fit, security, speed, availability, and errors. So these are the details that are given in different chapters. So we don't need to go in details with this, because in the later chapters, these details are described in details. Again, the same one, application integration, which access platforms do we support, which development technologies and standards do we use, how do we publish and manage content and data quality, how do we manage employee access to the internet, how do we secure data. So these are again the main issues or the questions, and then the details, and then where in which chapters are those covered. Okay, here is an activity. What is an activity? It is www.google.com. Write down all the different types of hardware and software involved from when a user types in a web address with such as www.google.com to the website being loaded. So it is like you go to www.google.com and or Google search, and then you search for hardware and software involved from and then you come up with the results. What does Google give answers to your query? Okay, here is the concept comes the internet technology. What is an internet? The internet refers to the physical network that links computers across the globe. So obviously internet is a medium that links all the servers or the computers around the globe, like using the Wi-Fi option or the cable networking cable option. We connect our computers with different servers with different network providers, and hence all the computers around the globe are connected together. It consists of the infrastructure of network servers and communication links between them that are used to hold and transport information between the client computers and web servers. So it's the both way towards the customers and towards the service backend and front end. Then the client or the server. The client or the server architecture consists of client computers such as PCs, sharing resources such as database stored on a more powerful server computer. Here is the diagram of physical and network infrastructure components of the internet, that is level 4 and 3 in figure 3.1. So how is access by phone line or cable? It is home PC, and then business PCs. Different PCs are connected through a LAN and accessed by leased line or phone line, the local ISP, then global ISP, the internet backbones, and then local ISP, business email or web server. Web server is connected uh, uh, to the to also the global ISPs. Now, physical and network infrastructure components of the internet, level 4 and 3 in the, now what are the details? Figure 3.2 shows how the client computers within homes and businesses are connected to the internet via local internet service provider ISPs, which in turn are linked to larger ISPs with connection to the major national and international infrastructure or backbones, which are managed by commercial organizations such as AT&T, UUNet, and Verizon. These are very big telecom companies in the world. In the UK, at the London Internet Exchange, in the Docklands area of East London, a facility exists to connect multiple backbones of the major ISPs within the UK onto a single high-speed link out of the UK into Europe and to the world. These high-speed links can be thought of as motorways on the information superhighway, while the links provided from ISPs to consumers are equivalent to slow country roads. Now, figure 3.3 example hosting provider Rackspace and www.rackspace.com. While it is possible for companies to manage their own services by setting up web servers within their own company offices or to use their ISP, it is common practice to use a specialist hosting provider to manage this service. For example, Rackspace. Rackspace is an example of this. Rackspace figure 3.3 describe itself as Europe's fastest growing hosting company. Since 2001, Rackspace has been hosting and supporting mission critical websites, internet applications, email servers, security, and storage services for over 4,000 customers. Rackspace also has US offices. So it's a very big company. It has a very big profile with the number of customers of 4,000 customers, and it has office in USA in and it has developed its business activities on different places in the international marketing. So here is the interface of Rackspace. So it is providing different type of facilities and different type of services. Okay, here is the timeline of major developments in the use of the web. So it is given the number of hosts in millions, and then the years in which these are so it is a graphical representation of the major developments in the use of World Web. Okay, then the internet timeline. The internet is only the latest of a series of developments in the way that the human race has used technology to disseminate information. So obviously through the internet, all the people are connected, all the PCs are connected. So it is the age of digitalization. So it is very important for us to be connected. So in the recent, internet is the most important and most advanced form of development that connect us all. Campus in 2000 identifies 10 stages that are part of 5 megawaves of change. The first 6 stages are summarized in table 3.2. It is evident that many of the major advances in the use of information have happened within the last 100 years. This indicates that the difficulty of managing technological change is likely to continue. Campus goes on to speculate on the impact of access to lower cost, high bandwidth technologies. So obviously with the passage of time, there are a lot of developments that are going on. So people are working as say the person named campus, that how they can manage to access the low cost and high bandwidth technologies. High bandwidth technologies are more advanced form of technology. So they are working on it. They are trying their hard to provide better services to their customers. Now, figure 3.5, the netcraft index of number of servers source. Netcraft web server survey, and here is the link. There are over 1 billion internet users worldwide. It's a huge number. But how big is the infrastructure they are accessing? So this is a question, that if there are this huge number of internet users worldwide, then how big is the infrastructure they are accessing? Only one measure is the number of web servers. Now, one way to measure it is that the number of web servers, how many web servers are being used. Netcraft has regularly surveyed the servers since 1995 to give a picture of the growth of the internet through time. It is shown in figure 3.5. The first survey, launched in 1995, found only 18,957 sites. But by August 2008, there were 176 million sites. So it's a very, very, very much in numbers, the difference is. It's a very huge difference. And this all happened just because of the developments in this area. Note that Netcraft measures the registered domains or internet IP addresses. So it only measures the registered domains that are having the record, that are being seen or followed by the people, the companies around the world, not the fake ones. So this is a pure original data. Some of these domains may not be active with regularly updated content, as the chart shows. So here is the chart. From 1995 to August 2018, 2008, and the host names are in red and the active are in blue, and the difference in the numbers is very huge. Okay, then the intranet applications. What are the intranet applications? Intranets are used extensively for supporting sell-side e-commerce from within the marketing function. They are also used to support core supply chain management activities, as described in the next section on extranets. A marketing intranet has the following advantage. So what are the advantages of marketing intranet? Here are some advantages. Number one, reduced product life cycles. As information on product development and marketing campaigns is rationalized, we can get products to market faster. So it will speed up the products to the market. Reduced cost through higher productivity. How? It will reduce the cost through higher productivity, like the productivity will be higher and the cost will be reduced, and savings on hard copy. Obviously it will be shown on the website, so the cost on the hard copy will be saved. Better customer service, responsive and personalized support with staff accessing customers over the web. Distribution of information through remote offices nationally or globally. So it is very important, and obviously the information is being transferred through remote offices nationally and globally in order to tell about the activities. Okay, next is intranets are also used for internal Marketing communication, since they can include the following types of information. Number one, staff phone directories. Number two, staff procedures or quality manuals. Number three, information for agents such as product specifications, current list and discounted prices, competitor information, factory schedules, and stocking levels, all of which normally have to be updated frequently and can be costly. But it is the demand that the website you are working on should contain all the information so that you can have the record on your one click option, staff bulletin or newsletter, and then the training courses. Now, what is a firewall? A specialized software application mounted on a server at the point where the company is connected to the internet is called a firewall. Its purpose is to prevent unauthorized access into the company from outsiders. Okay, here are some people who are always seeking the unethical ways to interrupt in your smooth business activities or the company activities, or it can also be intentional by your competitors that to do something like that that prevents that the unauthorized access to the company, like hacking of the company websites to access the information. So the firewall helps to prevent unauthorized access into the company from outsiders. Firewalls are necessary when creating an intranet or extranet to ensure that outside access to confidential information does not occur. Firewalls are usually created as software mounted on a separate server at the point where the company is connected to the internet. Okay, now here is firewall positions within the e-business infrastructure of the B2B company. Internet and extranet information is email server and FTP server. Then the firewall comes through internet at the DMZ, and it is connecting to the web database server and web application server. So it is the in between to have a check on the activities. Then from there, DMZ is to corporate network. There is also a firewall in between, and also it is to have a check on the corporate email servers and FTP server and intranet server. So corporate network here is remote sites, and then the sensitive data, there is again a firewall at the intranet level. Then this firewall protects your sensitive data. Your sensitive data includes finance, ERP apps, and DB and legacy TP systems. So these are all the contents that are being protected by using the firewall. Okay, now the figure 3.6, firewall positions within the e-business infrastructure of the B2B company. Now that diagram we just saw, we can describe it in detail, like the use of firewalls within the infrastructure of a company is illustrated in figure 3.6. It is evident that multiple firewalls are used to protect information on the company. Number three, the information made available to third parties over the internet and extranet is partitioned by another firewall using what is referred to as a demilitarized zone. Then finally, corporate data on the intranet are then mounted on other servers, including the other servers inside the company. Now here is that managing e-business applications infrastructure. How can we manage e-business applications in infrastructure? Management of the e-business application infrastructure concerns delivering the right applications to all users of e-business services. The issue involved is one that has long been a concern of IS manager, namely to deliver access to integrated applications and data that are available across the whole company. Traditionally, businesses have developed applications, silos, or islands of information as depicted in figure 3.17a. This shows that these silos may develop at three different levels. What are three different levels here? There may be different technology architectures used in different functional areas, giving rise to the problems discussed in the previous section. Number two, there will also be different applications and separate databases in different areas. And number three is the processes or activities followed in different functional areas may also be different. Then, to avoid the problems of a fragmented applications infrastructure, companies attempted throughout the 1990s to achieve the more integrated position shown in figure 3.17b. Here the technology architecture, applications, data architecture, and process architecture are uniform and integrated across the organization. To achieve this, many companies turn to enterprise resource planning vendors such as SAP, BAN, PeopleSoft, and Oracle. So these are all the softwares we are using in different big companies nowadays. So here is the figure 3.7a as it was discussed in that detail, that fragmented application infrastructure, in B integrated applications infrastructure, and what is that? Now the functional integration, it's a both way, and it has the procurement and logistics, and then finance, and then marketing. In finance we have business process architecture, application data architecture, and then technology architecture. Now this is figure 3.18, differing use of applications at levels of management within companies. So how we are using different levels of management, uh, how we are using different type of applications at different management levels in the companies. So first of all, enterprise resource planning applications, then knowledge management software, then data warehousing, data mining. Now here is the three obviously level: strategic management level, tactical management level, and operation management level. So here are different colors that we use these applications and different management levels within the companies. Then figure 3.18, different use of applications at levels of management within countries. So what we saw here in the diagram or in the chart, we see it here in the details, that figure 3.18 only shows some types of applications, but it shows the trial of strength between the monolithic ERP applications and more specialist applications looking to provide the same functionality. Number two, enterprise resource planning ERP applications, software providing integrated functions for major business functions such as production, distribution, sales, finance, and human resource management. These are all the departments of a business that are being managed by those resource planning applications. So every department has its own importance for the organizational success. Now again, elements of e-business infrastructure that require management. First, client applications integration with partners and intermediaries, management of external network, internet, then application development, data management, application servers, legacy applications and data, web server, corporate database server, it all comes in management of internal network or the intranet. Now, what are the management issues here? The management issues here are service quality of client-side applications, external applications hosting, integration with partner systems, quality of extra internet connections through ISP platforms for applications development, content management, and database management, quality of service side applications. Example is that services, performance, availability, and the interface. Then integration of e-business and legacy systems, and then control applications to monitor service levels. Finally, quality of staff access to internet and intranet services. Now, figure 3.19, elements of e-business infrastructure that require management. Figure 3.19 summarizes some of these management issues and is based on the layered architecture introduced at the start of this section, with applications infrastructure at the top and technology infrastructure towards the bottom. So here we can see smart business apps for emails, document sites, and much more. This is some search that is being done on Google. So here are the Google apps basically shown. What are the different apps or different services that Google is providing? It's the Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Talk, Google Docs, Google Sites, security and compliances, then the email security. It's the security apps. First one is the communication and collaboration apps. Then the second one is the security apps. In security apps is the email security, email archiving, and then the website security or the web security. Now, figure 3.20 is the Google apps as an indication of the transformations possible through web service. Figure 3.20, which shows how Google's mission to manage the world's information also applies to supporting organizational processes. Google Apps enables organizations to manage many of their activities. So all the products and the services provided by Google are for the benefit of different organizations. Like we can say here that the number of the number of apps being offered by the Google are, we can say that it's a 360-degree solution that Google is providing to its customers or the organizations it is working with. So the basic service is free, with Premier Edition, which includes more storage space and security, being $50 per user account per year. So it's a very cheap price, like you are paying $50 for one user account per year for the services that are being secured from Google Apps. Okay, now here is another concept that is called cloud computing. What actually is cloud computing? Cloud computing, the use of distributed storage and processing on servers connected by the internet, typically provided as software or data storage as a subscription service provided by other companies, is called cloud computing. In descriptions of web services, you may hear confusingly that they access the cloud or the term cloud computing, where the cloud referred to is the internet. Networks are often denoted as clouds on diagrams of network topology. For example, what is the example of it? Then if you are accessing your Google Docs, Google Docs is an additional application offered by Google Docs, then they will be stored somewhere in the cloud. So obviously, if you have some documents, like for example, if we not talk about the internet, if we talk about the conventional way, let's say you have a file full of documents. So now you have you need some place to put this file in. So obviously you need some place, some storage place, like a file rack or something like that to save your files there. So here is the cloud. When we're talking about the internet storage, it is providing the same services that the Google Docs, the documents, the files where that you are storing are being stored in the cloud. Then they will be stored somewhere in the cloud without any knowledge of where it is or how is it is managed, since Google stores data on many servers. So your files, your docs are being stored in the cloud. This is all you know, but you have no knowledge, or you don't know that where it is and how it is managed, since Google stores data on many servers. Like Google have managed to store data on many servers. So your files, your documents are being stored. This is all you know, but where it is stored and how it is stored, you don't know about it. And of course you can access the document from any location, but here is the problem. Although here is a solution, here is a good thing, that although you don't know that how and where your files are being stored, but you can access your files anytime from any location that it has been stored. But there are issues with this facility. There are definitely some issues. What are the issues? But there are issues to consider about data stored and served from the cloud. Is it secure? Like where your documents are being stored, is it secure? Is it backed up? Like you have some backup of it, that when you, for example, today you store your documents at some place, and then you need them after, let's say, 1 month or 2 months, and then the question is here, that is it backed up, it is stored there for that period, that it is always available for you when you have, whenever you need it. So this is a big question. The size of Google's cloud is indicated by Pandya in 2017, which estimated that Google has over 1 million servers running the open source Linux software. So it's a very big number, that 1 million servers are being used by the Google. So your data is being stored, and you don't know where and how, but the number of the servers where possibility is that your data is being stored is the 1 million servers. Then here the concept of virtualization. What is a virtualization? Virtualization is another approach to managing IT resource more effectively. How? However, it is mainly developed within an organization. VMware was one of the forerunners offering virtualization services, which it explains as follows. VMware 2008. The VMware approach to virtualization inserts a thin layer of software directly on the computer hardware or on a host operating system. So it is directly connected with your computer hardware or on a host operating system. This software layer creates virtual machines and contains a virtual machine monitor or hypervisor that allocates hardware resources dynamically and transparently, so that multiple operating systems can run concurrently on a single physical computer without even knowing it. So it is some type of like a layer that is being created that does not exist, but it is make sure that it exists on that particular computer where it is created. However, virtualizing a single physical computer is just the beginning. It's just a beginning. VMware offers a robust virtualization platform that can scale across hundreds of interconnected physical computers and storage devices to form an entire virtual infrastructure. So virtualization is not only done on one computer, but it is also being made possible that all the connected computers can be virtual, like can be virtualized by, or the virtual infrastructure can be used on each of those computers that are interconnected. Then the service oriented architecture. What is service oriented architecture? The technical architecture used to build web services is formally known as a service oriented architecture. This is an arrangement of software processes or agents which communicate with each other to deliver the business requirements. The main role of a service within SOA, service oriented architecture, is to provide functionality. This is provided by three characteristics. Now, how is this provided? The service oriented architecture, it is provided by three characteristics. What are the different three characteristics? Let's see. First one is an interface with the service, which is platform independent. Second one, the service can be dynamically located and invoked. And the third one is that the service is self-contained. Now, what is an interface with the service? Which is platform independent, not dependent on a particular type of software or hardware. So this type is not dependent on a particular type of software or the hardware. The interface is accessible through applications, development approaches such as Microsoft, .NET, or Java, and access through protocols such as SOAP. What is SOAP? Simple Object Access Protocol, and which is used for XML formatted messages. That is instructions and return results to be exchanged between services. Then the service can be dynamically located and invoked. One service can query for the existence of another service through a service directly. For example, an e-commerce service could query for the existence of a credit card authorization service. This is related to the financial aspect of the infrastructure in which the payments are being done using the credit cards authorization services, like you authorize the credit card use or the services being offered by the credit cards. Then the service is self-contained. What is this? That is, the service cannot be influenced by other services. It is a way, or it is the characteristics in which the service cannot be influenced by other services. Rather, it will return a required results to a request from another service, but will not exchange state. Within web services, messages and data are typically exchanged between services using XML. Now, what is a mobile commerce? Nowadays, this concept is replaced by another term that is called social commerce. But before that, this was very common in the whole world, that what is mobile commerce and how can we use mobile commerce in order to perform our activities, and how mobile commerce can be used for different type of activities. So in chapter 1, we explained that e-commerce refers to both informational and financial transactions through digital media. So the both type of e-commerce activities, whether it is information activity or the financial activity or the financial transactions, are done through the digital media. So similarly, mobile commerce, or it is called the m-commerce, refers to the use of wireless devices such as mobile phones for both informational and monetary transactions. So nowadays we have mobile, and every person is a frequent mobile user. So all the activities performed on the internet regarding online shopping or doing digital businesses, it becomes more easy because people are using mobile phones and they don't need uh, don't need to use much of the computers or the laptops because they have access about each and everything uh, with the information they require or the things they want to do on in their hand, like using your mobile phones. So all the activities in this mobile commerce are being done, whether it is informational or mobile monetary transaction, they are done on the mobile phones. While fixed access to the internet has dominated to date in many developed countries, in future this situation will change due to the ubiquity of the mobile phone and the adoption of higher speed services and more sophisticated handsets. Okay, now this is being replaced, or this is being modified by each passing day, that new technologies are coming and replacing the old ones. So this is what it is being said here, that in the coming days or in the coming era, the more technology will progress, the more replacements will come. Because what we as customers, what we as people or the consumers need is that high speed services are required. So the more advanced services we require, the more sophisticated devices we need to perform those functions. So this is what it is being said here. In some countries such as Japan and China, the majority of web access is via mobile phone, and we can expect to see increased mobile use in all countries. For sure, when uh, when we are in China, like I have been in China, when we are in China, we normally do every possible thing using our mobile phone. Like if university have to inform us about something, or they have to notify about something, they send messages using WeChat through the phone. And when we go to the market, we do shopping, so the concept of keeping money in your pocket is less, or keeping credit card or the debit card is less. You only have mobile phone connected with your banks, and you use different apps like WeChat, like Alipay, like QQ, and more applications like that to use for the payment of the products you purchase from the market. So the mobile phone uses in China, and same as in Japan, it's more frequent than other countries, because almost all the activities are being done on the mobile phones. In China, there are more mobile subscribers, over half a billion of the people. It's a very huge number. Over half a billion of the people are the subscribers of mobile phone than the whole US population. So what he is saying, that in China there are more mobile subscribers, over half a billion, than the whole US population. Back in 2070, he said that uh, in China, the mobile phone subscribers are over half a billion than the whole US population. It's a very, very, very huge number. And according to the regularly updated Comscore panel data, use of the web by mobile devices in Japan is equal to that of traditional computers access. So it is also a very high number. It is being followed in Japan and in China, but not only in Japan and China, but also in other countries like Malaysia. Nowadays, they are also shifting all their activities on mobile phone. Even in the developing countries like Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, uh, people are people are more towards the mobile phone uses rather than having big computers or laptops and carrying them with them. So they prefer that the more activities they can perform through their mobile phone. So the trend is coming uh, more popular in the people, even in the third world countries or third tier countries. So it is the technological advancements uh, that are encouraging us to go for these type of technology adoption. So mm, here is this the end of our today's lecture, the end of this chapter. So thank you so much. Any questions, you are welcome to ask.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Hassan Suraj. Does anyone that participate in this course have any question about the digital business uh, session? If you have any question, you can uh, chat in the text box, or you can also reach out to Professor Hassan Suraj as well. Does any of you have a related question about the digital business session?
Okay, here we have one question. Is it necessary for business managers to know the digital infrastructure in detail, or just trust IT person to do that from front end to back end? Well, uh, all the technical aspects are being done by the IT persons or the team who is dealing with the IT services or the experts, IT experts. But the necessary information, the basic information should be uh, kept in consideration for the managers, because if you don't know something, you cannot build an opinion on that, and you cannot only rely on your team that whatever they are doing, it can be in good interest of the company. Although we being a team have to have trust on each other, but there should also have the check and balances so that we can measure that how these activities are performed, what are the technical aspects, and what approaches do we have when we are going towards certain type of technological advancement or certain development. So business managers, obviously they are not expert in the its, but they should have the relevant knowledge, the basic knowledge of the terminologies or the basic knowledge of the activities being done, so that they can better communicate with their IT teams. They can better let them understand what they want and how they want. So it is important for them to have the basic knowledge.
Okay, is there any question that's related to digital business?
You are welcome. Any other question? Okay, thank you so much.
Is there any another question maybe from Afina, Native, Bobby, Amalia, or maybe Frajinson or Ali Sultan? Does does your guys have any question that's related to digital business? I think that's all, sir, for this
Okay.
session. Just
Okay.
only one question.
Yeah.
So,
So that's the end of the digital business course with these two classes. Although there are not much being covered in these classes, but I think that we can maybe arrange more detailed classes in future, so that we can cover all the areas.
yeah, sure thing, sir.
Yes. Yes. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we really thank you so much for this lecturing session. I'm so sorry if there are any mis miscommunication or whatsoever. So thank
No,
you so
no,
much,
no.
Asan Siraj.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, I will end the meeting room. So thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum
Assalamu alaikum.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a nice day. Thank you.